Eight Crazy Nights definitely feels like a pet project to me. It feels like a film that was created because the people involved, primarily Adam Sandler, wanted to create this, rather than the desire to create a film that audiences would enjoy. Now, I would argue that you should always create art for yourself, and then if the audiences like it, that's absolutely fantastic. But with this one, I feel like this could have never released a public audience, and it wouldn't have really made any difference. Maybe that's just me, I just don't understand the appeal with Eight Crazy Nights, but it's got 5.3 out of 10 on IMDb, which is not, it's not horrific. Certainly there are a lot worse films. I also have to point out that I am actually quite a fan of Adam Sandler. I know there are some people who perhaps don't like his acting style or his type of films, but I do. So I had high hopes for this. I also really like animations. But this just didn't work for me, and I think it's because it's not very funny. The narrative isn't very interesting. The narrative could be interesting, but the execution isn't very great. And I also really do not like the animation style. I do not like that at all. So it was released in 2002, directed by Seth Kearsley, written by a whole host of people, and stars primarily Adam Sandler. And I'm going to read the description from IMDb, but I won't give any spoilers. I don't believe it's a film that can be spoiled. But so this is a new full-length, well, it was new at the time when this was written, full-length animated feature about basketball, old girlfriends, holiday spirits, and the mall. Adam Sandler voices the three lead characters of Whitey, Davey, and Whitey's fraternal twin sister, Eleanore. This is technically a festive film. Davey Stone, an alcoholic with a criminal record, is sentenced to community service under the supervision of an elderly referee. Davey is then faced with trying to reform and abandon his bad habits. That actually sounds interesting. As I said, the concept of the narrative does sound like it could work very well. The execution of it is very dull. I didn't find the narrative exciting at all. There was nothing that kept me engaged. The development of it was not fun. I kind of just stopped caring very quickly about the characters' journeys and what was going to happen to them or what the outcome would be. I kind of watched it because I wanted to get to the end of the film, and that's about it. There wasn't anything to keep me engaged. The voice acting is fine. That's something that I think is working really well, not just from Sandler, but from, everybody across the board. Tyra Banks voices a character. Cole and Dylan Sprouse voice in it. It doesn't have the biggest voice cast. Rob Schneider, it's got some good names peppered in there, mostly all just minor characters, because obviously Adam Sandler voices pretty much everybody. It could have worked. If the animation style was different, it might have appealed to me more visually. If the narrative if it developed in a different way, it might have appealed to me more in terms of keeping me engaged. But that being said, if they ever decide to make this as a live action, I'd genuinely be interested to see that. I'd quite like to see how this would work as a live action. And, I think it would work. I'd like them to make some changes to the narrative. But as a concept, I think it would be pretty interesting. So it's not a complete lost cause. And I think maybe if you like the animation style, then you might enjoy it as just something to relax to. Certainly it's not a gripping, engaging, compelling, hilarious film, but you might like it as a piece of art. Because it is creative, and it is, it's, in a way, it's well put together. It's not like the animation's not fluid or anything. I just really do not like the style. So there might be something in it for you. But personally, I did not get on board with it. I did not enjoy it. Decent voice acting, decent casting, interesting narrative that could have been a lot better. I would like to see this as a live action, but, this was 19 years ago. Oh, that's insane. 19 years ago. I doubt that's on the cards. Give it a watch if you like Sandler, or if you like festive-based, weird animations. Personally, I wouldn't say put it to the top of your list, though.